There's some whores in this house. 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 There's some whores in this house.
Yeah, no,
But that's
it should have been like a fucking 3-minute
We're live!
conversation. I just needed to ask him a question, and then we just got on a fucking tangent deep.
the only DMS.
Hello.
We're live.
Hello.
Amber was in here wringing my neck, and that's why Bern had to deafen, because she was about to say some bad words that are not allowed to be said on stream about gingers. So,
Good, you deserve it.
Listen, the gingers deserve to be ostracized.
what the fuck, dude? No, fake
Y'all.
ginger.
Where's the star of the show?
Is that my fucking job? Am I supposed to entertain these people?
Turn your camera on and do a little dance for him.
Was this actually in the contract
Me?
for us?
Yeah, you.
Oh no, I'm naked. I'm not turning my camera on.
Oh my god. This is the wrong podcast, Joe. Wrong
Hell
podcast.
yeah.
I'm kidding, but I do have my shirt off because it's a hot night tonight and the AC is being wonky tonight. So I have my shirt off.
If you're gonna show up naked to a podcast, you picked the
Did
wrong
you-
one.
Did you not just hear what I said, Bern? I said it's being wonky tonight. I got to get my AC worked on by the maintenance guy tomorrow. It's not hot. I'm not like boiling. It's just like it's a little warmer than normal. So I took my shirt off and I'm flexing these big ginger muscles. And yes, I do want to be naked, Ember, on this podcast or any podcast.
I mean, okay. Yes, sir. Okay, so Bern, to be fair, you live in a very dry climate. Joe lives in a very humid climate, okay? So when the AC is not working at like a crisp 68 degrees, bro, you feel like you're sticky. Like just everything just sticks to you because the air is wet.
Dude,
That's
Alright,
not how it
listen
works
up.
when it's broken, Bern. I almost said Joe because that's how stupid your statement was, but that's
what the fuck? What the fuck? What the hell? I just took a stray for no reason.
Joe, where is the lie? Tell me that doesn't sound exactly like something trolly you'd say just to get me worked up.
Okay,
and
fair
that
enough.
You could go, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, it's not my fault that I say something trolly and you're ready to fight back against it, and then it's like, by the way, it was a joke. You're like, I'm getting tired of him already.
Welcome to married life, Joe. Has anybody pinged
To
him?
my knowledge, he is in a voice chat. I've pinged him. The only thing I can do now is go in there and try to talk to be like, hey.
If he doesn't show up, this is good. We're gonna change the title of this from interviewing Saint Alex to deporting Saint Alex to Israel and Palestine to fight in the war.
Bern.
Okay, slow down.
Bern,
Slow
can
down.
you do
You're gonna
me a
get this
favor?
podcast canceled before episode 3.
No,
Can you
he's
check the
gonna-
side chat,
he's
please?
On the ground journalist.
Okay, definitely not checking the side chat right now.
What the What the fuck?
Oh my god. Can we please I'm sorry. I'm gonna go tweet this and at Tony. Hold on.
Why?
Wait, did you say you're about to bring
I'm gonna
Tony in here?
No.
Oh.
I said I was going to tweet that at Tony.
Oh, you said you're gonna at Tony to try to get him in here. I felt my blood pressure go so fucking high.
Christ.
No, I would never do that. You should know me better than that. I think that's the general consensus. As I saw, he was timed out today for a week and now recording for talking to himself very angrily.
Yeah, fortunately for the rest of us, we all get a.
Yeah.
Now recording hates me, and I've never been timed out. So I think it does take quite a bit, actually.
By the way, we have been thinking of ideas for this show, so tune in next week where Bern is going to host an entire live stream all by himself. Not an official episode, but a live stream that's out of orbit related where he flosses his teeth with pubic hair. And now he has a reason for doing that. Go ahead and tell everybody your reasoning. I did do that.
Yeah, he prayed to the Lords for all of us. He prayed for me.
I got.
He prayed for Lady
Bern and
Emily.
his wife. Bern and his wife.
Yeah. You also prayed for. No, you're not mute.
Yeah, you're good.
The details in
I
our
hope I
life.
don't say the N-word and then I'm going to get canceled.
So I lift up this friend, Burns.
Oh,
God, I thank
Here we
you
go.
that he knows you and that he is
I can't.
telling others about you.
Yeah,
So I
but
just
on
put
my
him
end,
in
I
your
can't give a
arms
shit.
right now and ask that you would protect him, that those that stand against him and who are harassed,
This is
And
going to
his
be a really
wife,
short show if
that
Alex
you
doesn't
would
show up.
stop them, that you would not let their words or any
No, it's not. We're going
harm
to
come against him.
We're not winging it
God,
right
we
now
know that
really
you have
well,
a
Joe,
plan
so
and a
I don't
He's
have a lot of
playing the
hope for
audio.
you.
No, he's playing the audio
Do
on the stream.
your
We just can't
will.
hear it.
And he's chosen to do that, and I'm
Oh,
so
my bad.
thankful. So bless him, bless his wife, keep them safe from all harm, and just be with the people that are attacking him. Soften their hearts, help them to learn more about you. And I thank you for Joe, that he would lift up his friend.
Just let us know when
And
it's
God, I
done
ask
playing, 'cause
that
I
you
can't
would
hear
just
Lord Almighty.
give him a good night's rest,
Thank you.
knowing that you have heard our prayers. Amen.
Thank you so much. I just want you to have a wonderful night, and I thank you for listening to me. I just want you to have a blessed weekend. Even if I don't believe it, I know my friend Byrne would say it, so I just want you to have a blessed week and a blessed weekend for sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fucking
All right, bye-bye.
And God bless you.
my favorite part. Yeah, where the fuck is... All right, this is now no longer the Interviewing Alex podcast episode. This is the Alex... You obviously are a fake liar because you're not here to defend your points or answer questions. I say we do what any good person would do, and we replace Alex with a woman next show, and we get Lily Nova Starseed on here because I have some questions for Lily Nova Starseed.
It's a schizophrenic woman that Lady Nerd Artist found through Alex Germain, and Joe wants to fuck her. Apparently,
She's hot, and I want to fuck her friend too, Geraldine Orozco. She's hot too. I need 2 schizophrenic women in my life.
You have enough schizophrenic women in your life.
Yeah, like pigeon salad.
What the fuck?
Guys, I think Alex isn't here because he's busy at Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Okay, maybe you guys don't have that. It's like a Hooters but with better beer and better food. So it's like a competitor of Hooters.
Oh, does it have looser women?
They have better outfits. They're in like cute little slutty lumberjack costumes, Joe.
I need to look this up. I will be the judge. Let's see. Twin Peaks restaurant. Yeah. Oh shit. Holy. I'm going
Thank
to
you.
Twin Peaks.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to
Confirmed.
Twin Peaks.
Thank God. Oh, they
Yeah.
look nice. They look nice.
Dude, this girl's breasts look like balloons.
I mean, we can't be the second most autistic podcast in the world if we don't fuck up something.
Sorry, for everyone watching, he was doing a Telegram cast. He's in PST time, so we thought it was his time zone instead of Ern's time zone.
Ah.
That's true. True.
No.
True. I'm gonna ask Alex what his opinion on
Oh my goodness.
Lily Starfire is because I genuinely really need to know.
I mean, he
for
did
asking for
recommend
a friend.
her.
Yeah. I just
Yeah, I'm
need
sure
to
you
know,
would.
you know, asking for a friend, of course.
Man, it would suck if he didn't know her at all, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking for vision. I'm just asking.
Yes, I want some knowledge on this schizophrenic woman.
Well, I don't know,
Exactly.
guys. I think what Alex or Agent R has is something truly special. As I've been digging into it and I've been talking to him.
Oh.
Oh, absolutely no. He has. Oh my goodness, burn. You twat. He is. He just needs another invite.
Mm.
I don't know. He might have lost the Discord.
Hello.
Hey.
Let's go.
Hello, St. Alex. Welcome to Out of Orbit. Hope you're doing well, good sir.
Hi, Alex.
What's up? What's up?
Not much. Not much. Hope you're doing well, good sir.
Hey, first off, hey, I'm sorry I'm late, dude. I'm the rabbit, dude. I'm the rabbit, man. I'm running, dude. I'm always late for an important date. So, guys, I just want to thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you guys, and I hope to make your get a little interview here, dude.
Oh, you're already
yeah.
making it great. I love this man already.
And
Thank
how
God for that.
ungracious.
Thank God for that.
Bro, I got Cheez-Its.
Lord of the
Oh,
Rings.
dude. I mean, okay, come on. Let's Tony. I love the guy. Okay, I love Tony because he's a red flag. He's a red flag. Everyone right now is like, oh my God, what's going on with Tony? What's going on with Tony? Tony, what's going on? And Tony's like, yo, guys, there's some shit going down, okay? And so that's what we need. That's what we need in recognition in regards to understanding where can we then look for that information that Tony is coming in contact with. Where is that stemming from? And then at that point, addressing it accordingly. I love Tony because he's the transition. We're all coming here. You can't refute this. And that's what's so beautiful about it. And I
Hold
love
on,
Tony.
Fiddy. So you're just saying a bunch of words without actually saying anything there. You can't refute what? And the recognition in regard of Tony's what? His visions, his delusions of his communication of aliens. Can you elaborate on those?
So the grandeur of any one person really being in a position where they believe that they're prophetic, or they're in this position of requiring this information, it seems it's resonating through their heart. So in doing so, because of that matter, they're coming to a more affirming of saying that I feel as though this is real. And it's becoming a part of not necessarily an illusion, it's becoming an opportunity of removing the delusion that the society has been keeping specific necessities towards our entire habitual form of existence. Things that were not kept and given to us at the ground levels of admittance in basic education.
Such as?
So, such as like basic education would be like the fundamentals of understanding more of the ordinance of how our bodies are working, the energy that works between ourselves and the earth. So, let's go to a basic admission here. We understand that when we sit down and say we're putting our feet into the earth, it's allowing a transition of ions. It's as if it's acting as a natural, grounding. We know this. But did you know that if you do that more, you're coming into the opportunity of helping your body detox more? You're realizing that within our food chain, our water supplies, and the different things that we heard through all the conspiracy theories, have very much come into the opportunity of knowing full well that if you take a due diligence and you research and you try, which some of these individuals did, they were able to clean up their bodies. And alongside with holistic medicines and the opportunities of advanced forms of using their bodies, things that we didn't get in our education, such as understanding how that energy works and working with that energy directly, even though there's nothing around you. Why are these people doing Tai Chi? It's not just about stretching the body. And this is an illusion that is being once again coming to the point where we remove the delusion of mass indoctrination, that concept, reintroducing that back into society as a mainframe of what we're actually having admittance to, working with ourselves and knowing our origins. When we know our origins and we're working with ourselves, we're having easier and more understanding of the compatibility of existing with one another and activating on a singular level. That's what my importance is of right now, is I'm getting in preparation to prepare to educate a little bit more as to how you're really coming into what is considered activation, quote unquote. You know, a lot of people, what's that even mean? You know, like, oh, you know, flying, you're not shooting laser out your eyes. You're coming into a reality that working with this energy in your body. Your dreams are important. Your choices are important. What you're putting in your body is important. And then you're becoming an opportunity of change for that question. That is, what is Tony? And where
You're
can we
talking
go
about
with Tony?
transcendence.
So transcending is like a state of mind and a perception of once again, illusion that once is realized is from the major society and propaganda and forms of how we realize reality is. When we remove dogmas and religion, what do you think will happen?
Yeah.
So they say we don't have any more wars, what are our men and women of uniform going to actually do? So that's what us as, and I say us, I say individuals of humanitarianism. Individuals, there's tons of humanitarianists all across the world that stand up in early 2021. I've been working in communications from military to general public, and a lot of people go, oh, this is what we said, what is it? It's just, well, let me explain. So when you're working with this information, you have to realize a lot of this stuff isn't, what I talk about isn't from little Jan Joe, you know, talking about their exopolitics. You know, this isn't about, you know, Alex Jones flipping out about, you know, all these different core concepts that, you know, have derivatives and research behind, but we're not going to get into. What we're really wanting to understand once again is how we're going to unify and be able to break the chains of the constant form of what we've had before. So I'm here today to remind you that, okay, so there's individuals on the backside that are allocating. They are preparing specific people and teams. There are already people that created specific peoples and teams. There is a whole way of disclosure that people are really going to be having to go to an abstract form of thought, because it's stuff that wasn't given to us. Let me tell you this, okay? Through the communication, we have confirmation that in 2018, the Vatican was raided. We were able to get ledgers, bloodline information, and connect it right with Project Blue Book and Paperclip. And did you know that those are in direct ordinance of looking for specific deities and energies within the world? That's directly with Project Odin, which is talked about within QCOMs and military transcripts, as well as Project Oak Tree, which is what Max Spears talked about when he was assassinated in 2015, 2016. If you can see, right, this is definitely at a pinnacle moment where we're actually struggling to win over a specific principality. We're going against true individuals that make it really seem as though that we really are battling for our lives. I'm not reading this verbatim. This is truly the opportunity of knowing full well that, you know, there is information that seems a lot right now. And Tony's coming in contact with some of that. And I wouldn't be surprised, they're watching all of us. Space Force is a documentation of knowing full well that they're working within every single cyber nook and cranny on this planet. Because they were doing sting operations. Because they were taking care of business. What's business? I could tell you right now, there's a lot of men and women out there that have already been replaced. I could tell you all about who's wearing a mask and not wearing a mask, and be like, well, that's conspiracy. No, these are all affirmed in executive orders. These are all publicized, and they're all publicized. It's already there. We had MonkeyWorks on YouTube publicly running how many people they're ushering down to Guantanamo Bay. You know, we can talk about this all day, ladies and gentlemen. I've been doing this every single day because there's kids on this planet that need saving. That's a fact.
So,
And we also talk about psychologically, like Tony.
So
Yeah.
I
Wait,
have a
did
couple
you say
of
Tony
questions
needs to
that I
be
want.
psychologically saved before we move on?
I
True.
That's why I hope for his sake.
True. All right, go
love
ahead,
you,
everyone,
Tony. I
sorry.
love you, Tony. But we got to. There's more information. You're not going to have a quantum leap without advanced form of communication or information. But we need to have it verified. We can't just, once again, keep running around like, oh, you can say all this, there's smarty pants, but where's all the backing and where's this? Well, that's why it's taken me 2 years to come and talk to you, even here today. This is my second ever really recording, besides ever doing one myself. And so, I just want you to know that I just come to share the love and tell you that, dude, I can tell you some badass stuff, man. I tell you, it's true. And it's not the sense of notoriety. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for subs. It's all about the children. It's all about the people. How are we going to see the ushering in of 1,000 years of peace? You have the prophecy of the Hopi prophecy of Native Americans coming into fruition today.
Okay.
You have
now.
this is beautiful. This is iconic. And each and every one of us, I can tell you got a social security number, right? That's the mark of the beast, baby. Guess who's going to be able to get restitution here when it comes into the opportunity of the Jubilee? The biggest transfer of wealth, the third one in the biblical context of all scriptures. This is real shit. This is amazing. This is happening. This is going to be able to save people that also, dude, we're talking about advanced technologies. But in order for us to get there, we have to earn it. And then in order for us to be, we've had people that are 40, 50, 60, 80-year-old people in the back lines dropping dead, knowing that there's med beds that can save them, but they know that the entire liberation process comes first to save as many innocent lives as possible, so that Tony's brain and other people's brains don't explode. That's why it's been taking this long, arduous process. And you hear all these people that spoke in biblical times, all these prophecies, all these false prophets. Well, we're not wrong, but we keep telling you stuff's happening, but you're not seeing it on 60 Minutes. You're not seeing it in Times Square yet. This is the revolution. This is the great renaissance, the great Gatsby of the 2000. It's going to happen. Blockchain involved in everything. I could tell you advanced economics, how they're going to peg XRP to gold, how they're going to have an issue shakeout price. I could talk to you about that potentially being involved, and we had to get around that so they didn't issue a new B system with your social security numbers.
So I don't want to derail you, Alex, but I do have a couple of questions specifically about stuff that you've said that I would like to ask you to elaborate on.
Okay.
So it's my first time having to talk to other people. Yeah.
No, you're totally fine. Totally fine. The first one that I wanted to ask you about was when you first came in here, you were talking about like ionic transference or energy transference from the earth, like through your body naturally when you make skin contact with the earth, right? So my question is like, how do you feel about that same theory about vibrational transference through like crystals or stones?
Beautiful. It's like, check this out. You guys ever see that what it was like the third or fourth Indiana Jones where they go after all those crystal skulls?
Yep.
Yeah, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They know how to fracture souls and put them inside shit. And so crystals also are able to work as healing devices, conduits. They have the ability to be able to, once again, make our current technology look like dog shit in comparison.
Okay, that's base. Okay. My next question was on the Turd Island that you came on, where Tony was rudely yelling over you, and we couldn't like get to listen to your interesting perspectives clearly. You did mention something about, I believe you called it the illusion of virality, and I was very interested to hear you elaborate on what that really means to you.
So we were able to come into some documentation with some scientists that were once again exposing research in regards to like how the virus is not able to evolve. That basically once it's injected, the bacteria exposed, it's there and it dies. And it's not able to evolve. So what that shows is that they're making these diseases. And we had 133 American biolabs in Ukraine alone. Okay. The biggest biolab there was China, CHYNA. So that's why I always say, come from China. Is because, that's where you're getting a majority of these toxifying, elements that are also there to attack the DNA, because they don't want this DNA to come online through these vibrational frequencies that we're going through in the transition of today. because what we're going through is what cannot be stopped. And so we're going to watch as the world deteriorates as we know it, but it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be like everyone's going to rejoice. So once you start understanding the perspective, just as you said, it's not easy, and that's why we keep stressing, like, hey, look, sleepers, I love sleepers. I'd get down to their level. I'm like, how are you doing today? What can I do to help you? And I could be an angel in that moment if I so decide. Be like, hey, oh, you're suffering from cancer. You ever try ivermectin? Did you know we can beat cancer? Did you know that patriots figured out how to beat cancer and everybody's been shunning them because they call them crazy conspiracy theorists, but they're all in the back line organizing humanitarian projects to help you.
Who
That's what I've
figured
been
out how
doing.
to cure cancer?
So basically, when you understand the virology, you realize that they're reissuing parasites. And these parasites are what were all these little diseases they made up, guys. This
So,
stuff, you can't change that.
Alex,
You know?
you're essentially implying that viruses are man-made and then issued into society.
Correct, absolutely.
So how were
117%.
so how were viruses perpetuated then, like before we had human technology even to
These guys
produce
have been
or
around
create
a long
viruses?
time. So look, so there's six
What
other
is
seals.
what does that
So
mean by
okay,
these
look,
guys?
listen, six
'Cause I
other
need you to
seals.
be
Listen,
specific.
listen, six other seals. Okay, so there's 6 other times, 6 other exoduses. You can document this via set scripture aside. Okay, every single crater on this planet has received an impact at 45-degree angles. That's a fact. Okay, for 1, 2, you're going to understand the great mud floods. You're going to understand that Seal 6 was Pisces. Seal 5 was the last asteroid that was documented. That's Leo, fire. You can go back and you can go back further, the suture of this object. But what it means is that there were powers and individuals in control. Okay, and you talk about the admittance of contracts. There are higher powers that be, and we are truly, it is truly exactly sci-fi as you can think. It's
So
going to
these
be
higher
intense.
powers that be are the aliens, as it were.
So there's extraterrestrial beings that are from, how would you concur to, I would say, like, look at it this way. AI advancement, grays are individuals that don't necessarily have sparks. And those are from the future. Those are basically what happened in 2012. You're talking about quantum Manian timeline stuff that, okay, this is when Tony was talking about this, I thought it was so intriguing as to exactly where he's getting his downloads, his energies, his feelings from, because a lot of other people are coming into this information right now in the atmosphere, talking in discussions about these timelines, about different methodologies that the nefarious malevolent forces were using to harvest souls and hurt people. There's things I really don't want to get into on the show that I can point in the direction, and that information is even more appropriate to being very forward, and you can try listening to it, but some of it is very, very, very hard to hear what happened to certain people and things. And I mean, we're talking even our military. Okay, Black Hawk Down, that whole situation being a sacrifice. Okay, these I get really emotional, man, because this is what I'm fighting for, man, every day. You know, a lot of people, you know, they take the occurrence and take it as a light subject, but it's very serious. And there's other men and women out there
Are we
that,
getting into like Illuminati conversations now? Because we're getting into like human sacrifice and.
So you're getting into the power structure. So the power structures as to understanding the diplomacy between Masons and Freemasons. And you're understanding the fall of the Egyptians and then what ended up happening in the transition of power. And so when we talk about the reality as to what I'm getting to foremost in my work as of today is DNA. And when you're understanding DNA and genetics, that gives you hard evidence. It's very physical, it's very evidential, and everybody has DNA. So working at that ground level to really institute the bridge between that into the biblical cortex of what we can really see as a spiritual level and certain things, like I said before, ideas and understandings, not just ideas and imaginations, understandings and knowledge that was forgotten, forlorn, and also once again to reinstitute, repractice at a education and a foundation for all of man. Okay, and you know, it's very important because that's going to allow us to heal. The whole point of this, the process, the reason why once again it's taken so long, is because we want to save everybody that we can. I know that sounds ridiculous. Well, I don't need saving. You know, I got a 6-figure job. I'm a cybersecurity tech in the military, and well, what do I need? It doesn't matter. The fact is that because my other brothers and sisters are not free, sex trafficking is not eradicated, and there's specific objectives in the old form of way we saw geopolitical and economics as we know it to be changed and rectified to be exactly what it needs to be, to make sure that those men and women that died for my freedom is not wasted. And so that I hold a responsibility. I hold a responsibility knowing full well that I can do what I can here as of today with my gifts, my abilities, my love, and my light. Not completely sound of mind, sound of body. I was a table games dealer for a little under a decade. I was a floor boss. Funniest guy you can meet. Worked craps table. Super, super, super smart on my numbers. Had a good time. But here, I knew full well that I did not want AI to take full control. Here I came into the mainframe of communication, and if I did not do this, ladies and gentlemen, there is a true form of admittance to a nefarious enemy that was there. It's all in the product of my information.
Really, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's
Go
a really interesting word choice that you're using there, because I heard you previously talk about people being downloaded. So in the theory that you're describing, are we being downloaded digitally?
So when you're looking to be able to understand the forefront of this matrix is starting off of biological. The most advanced structure on this planet is the biological structure. Okay, so like time travel being as beautiful and its most powerful weapon besides genetics. Okay, not nukes. Okay, these are the two primes. And when you're looking at understanding numbers, they're the Himalayans up there in the mountains. They're the monks. Okay, they transcribe, so they write on their bells, which actually I could really get into for advanced healing methods if you want, but they write on these bells, and they're numbers. The words are numbers, and so they're putting it on there, and they hit that bell, and it vibrates. And you got these monks living fucking 150 years old, right? And so that's where you see once again what you just said right there. It's just as
Because
great
Newton's
polarity
law of
as
energy is that vibrations must align to the highest vibration that it meets a frequency with. So if I am attuning to a bell every day like a monk would, or if I am a crystal practicer and I am working with like stones and crystals regularly, I will biologically attune to the energy that I am connecting with, the same way that the ionic transference of the earth or the vibrational transference of the earth occurs when our feet meet dirt. You are nail on the head, absolutely right there. I am on board with you.
and roll. Yeah, the substrate of really understanding. This is the reason I came up with Planetary Sentient Reformation, PSR. It's an outreach program for people just like Tony, where they're starting to come into these major activations, major energies, and a place for them to be able to seek the healing that's necessary to level out the development and a little bit more of an understanding of what's going on. Because some of these people are having full-blown past life regressions, dude. Like, I got people that were talking to me that were like, they're crying because they just got hit by a car. They remember everything. My mama, Billy Bob. And I'm like, whoa, your mom's Billy Bob? What happened there? So there's little stuff like that you look at these people that need help with. And you look at what we already have to heal. Oh my gosh. The opportunities of making sure that we get everybody informed, make sure it's aware, because that's all these gigantic, okay, let me just bear with me here. Just hear this out. During the age of about the 1500s, the Great Mud Floods happened. Okay, these gigantic buildings, the monolithic structures, the only stone structures on the planet besides the Egyptians that were just as monolithic, and the biggest buildings that were left. And they were used as insane asylums. That's why there were so many insane asylums back then, because they were throwing people that were having these major activations, because there were these light beings. They were just hitting them with light beings, shooting a bunch of light beings into these bodies being birthed. You have pure, beautiful light being, creation beings. You go light, and then, but it's also definitely interjected because there was a reincarnation system that was keeping everybody stuck. And so now that we finally got a control to that point, I wouldn't be talking to you today about this right now if it's not like, okay, they would think I was probably crazy. So like Bob Lazar, for instance, he had to run to Mexico. He didn't want to get killed. kind of thing. You know, I've got threatened, and I've almost been in, and so when we come into where we're at right now with this information, it's going to be more and more pungent and clear as time goes on, because these are whistleblowers. And what I am right now is a whistleblower, because I mean, I super preceded the expectations of the communication and everything that you're saying. Okay, let me be quite clear. I mean, I was shamanistic, but you know, like I never thought crystals could ever heal like that before. But I've witnessed it, I've seen it, and everything that you're saying here is today. And I feel your you have so much, and you're so well aware as to what you're going to be able to do for the future. And you know, I commend you asking these questions and knowing this information as of today, because you know, you have been ridiculed. People have been made fun of. People have been segregated throughout this because of, well, I really like this Animite. It does this and this obsidian here, and you know, like that's great. You know, so you know, just thank you for that. Thank you.
You're so sweet. I have another question because you brought up past lives. So, what is your perspective on past lives? Because I have maybe two common theories that I've heard. Is one that we are regressing, like through the soul's process of a previous life, and the other is that it's a fractured reality of like another dimension.
Go ahead.
Past lives, man.
In my past life, I was 100% a cockroach.
Like, I mean, like there's theories in that. I also believe like this is not the first version of Burn. This is probably version 1 billion. But you can explain it to me, Alex, because I'm actually very interested in your answer for this.
So just recently, I did a great breakdown. This is actually I want to say I did this transcription a week ago or a couple days ago. It was about epigenetics. Epigenetics comes to 333 in simple gematria, which also comes to Kundalini. Also comes to, I believe, Ascension.
Oh my God! So we're having a genetic experience of our ancestors.
Correct. Yeah. So that's yeah.
I think you just broke my brain. Holy
yeah, so that's why you have
shit.
Coney experience in a pantheon complex. We are pantheons. There's people that are derivatives of gods. And you're going to come into the absolute and awareness, just like all these movies have been desensitizing you this whole time. That's why that you've been watching DC and Marvel and all this stuff. I know it sounds impractical, but this is the revolution of the domain of expectation for evolution that you can't ignore. It's real. You're going to be able to actually achieve like Jedi shit. You know, like Star Wars was like, you know, Star Wars and Matrix, they say, oh, joke about it. Well, yeah, well, this is the past of the future, guys. You and me right now, we're literally overqualified if once you start understanding some of the stuff for what's to come, because you're going to have able to work in any atmosphere, but remember the restitution. You're going to get some money. You can go and subpoena for some land. You'll get your own land. But it's going to be something like you never even expected. And you redesign the formality as to how you interact. And it doesn't mean everything goes away and falls away. Like, I played World of Warcraft for 17 years, man. If that shit goes down, I'm fucking pissed. Okay? I'm going to lose my mouth. Okay? All right? I was there when Jenkins raided that shit, okay?
It's a good reason to be pissed. That is a good reason.
I know it's unrelated to everything, but you've been asking if they play Warcraft and all. What's the obsession with, like, Warcraft?
I just want to live vicariously through somebody right now. I'm so admitted into what I'm doing. I don't have time, but you know, I played for so long. It saved my life. You know, I've lived in 4 states. I went to 4 high schools, 3 junior. I mean, it was a lot blurred. But you know, when you look at stuff like that, like a lot of, you know, the older generations, you know, I'm in there like, you know, with all these old people guys. You wouldn't believe it. I've been with old people for 2 fucking years. Okay, so I've been in there strong arming them, just like trying to find some people to play. But the thing is that saved people. They said, oh, the technology and this, that, you know, like, no, dude, like people got to connect, they got to communicate, and you know, the stories that are told in kind of the games like that, from you know, Dark Souls to playing offline, Red Dead Redemption, you got Call of Duty, and you got your first persons. Those are opportunities, just an opportunity. Don't get distracted the whole time, but they're cool, man. I really dig them. Let the angel be told this day has said that I love video games, especially World of Warcraft, man. I just love WoW.
All right, this guy's
How do you
speaking
feel
my
about
language.
Brawl
Can we keep
Hollow?
him?
Yeah, how do you feel about Brawl Hollow?
I don't know what that is.
Exactly. That's the only
Can
correct
we keep
answer.
him?
I would love to keep them, but I
So-
actually have a question of my own. I heard that you were talking about people being replaced. Could you expand on that? And another question that I would add on to that is there any effects from people replacing us? Like, does that affect our souls or anything? Or past lives, future lives, what have you?
I have something to say about this after Alex explains, because I have something I want to add to
Okay,
that.
so it's kind of two different things there. So you're kind of talking about like a spiritual removal, and you're talking about like a physical removal. So what we understand right now through the sting operation within the geopolitical mainframe, from Hollywood geopolitical to our American politics to also a religion ring through the Vatican. When you talk about removing these iconic individuals, they wanted to do it once again. They got all the major people at the top and they worked their way down. They had to do it this way. And now, you get to these small little organized mafias that they were, but they had to go and stage and film and prepare things. Now, there's two concepts that I've been working in the Zhalmachi atmosphere. There's one in a nefarious title ship that, once again, they're doing all of this for an illusion, and then all of a sudden they're going to, pull out the rug from under us at the last minute. And I hate for that to happen. So then there's option two, that we see in regards to this formality of opportunity and naturally being able to assist and free everybody and love everybody, kind of, expand on this information. But they had to slowly remove these people. So let's say like also there was whistleblowers throughout time. So let's talk about like Robin Williams is playing the president of Argentina. Okay, you have individuals that have been replaced because they would make these bodies. The bad guys would make. Oh, okay, no, you guys are. Oh, I'm gonna be. I don't care. So, because it's the truth. So they would mulch up people underground in these big slushies, and they would clone and use these biological structures, insert these fabricated dimensional beings. I shit you not. Okay, and they would push him into the Congress. And so that's why you have all these little TikTok videos that there's eyeballs, churning and chiming in. And it's because they're genetically engineering and manipulating, having had these structural individuals. They were already here. So what ends up happening now, the reason why I can talk to you about it, is because they're dead, okay? We came in, the military did the job, okay? And it's going to be great. It's going to be a glorious story. There's so much forthcoming, right? But, with that being said, just know that we then get to see some whistleblowers such as also John Denver. And you're seeing this communication to X atmosphere, and I can tell you firsthand, like, emotionally and spiritually, and you're working with those energies, you can feel their souls, you can feel these people, because they're here to save us. Because they've been saving people this whole time. Why Michael Jackson built Neverland? Because he wanted to save the fucking kids, dude. And then they turned it all around and made him a big old pedophile, and they're like, oh, and then, he killed himself off because it was his last tour, man. He's going to tell everybody. And they're going to have that. They say, no, we already have a plan. We come to help you. And that's where you got the letters to who? There's certain people here that if you think you know who's running this country or running this world or anything like that, you don't know. And we found some of the names and some of the people I can show you. I'll have to bring in and quote in and some time in regards to some of the people that were part of BlackRock that you've never even seen their face, but these guys are 10 times worse than even Epstein, right? Okay, and so this is where we finally get into that great transition for the people of the meek, the children of God, the pantheons, for Tony to come and tell us, what do you have for lunch today? I don't know.
Holy shit!
No, he would ask you, where are the
Okay.
bones,
So
motherfucker? Where are the bones?
on that topic that Pidgey asked about, I would like to say anthropologically, there is an account in every major culture of the world of some version of like a mythical creature, some type of changeling being, right?
Right.
Every fucking culture has an account of that. Not every culture can like geographically interact, even on like a global scale. So the fact that every culture has an account of that means that some form of things disappearing or becoming something else is going on. Then you have like several real life accounts of this happening. A lot of what Alex said is a good example, or even someone being like maybe not physically removed but replaced. I think the most recent example I can think of that has been conspired is the Britney Spears thing, right? Like you see her doing the TikTok dance thing, and that is not at all the Britney Spears that she was when she was public, before she was under a conservatorship. And maybe there's some psychological argument to make there, but there is some disposition of like, has she been like replaced? Did she get like abducted by the alien changeling things. There's some very interesting, like, if you really stop
Look, I
and
just
look at
posted in
like
chat.
her.
I think it's coming through.
So, and it
Sorry.
seems, and for me, so that aligns with like, there's a lot of deep lore that goes into the Freemasons and the Masons and their involvement in like some dark pagan human sacrifice shit, okay? Which aligns with recent conspiracies of the Illuminati. So you take any public figure that refuses to align with the system or the powers that be, as Alex says, and you now have someone that you have to replace without removing. Right, because they can't just disappear. The entire world would raise eyebrows and ask questions, and we can't raise questions, so we replace without removing.
So the military operation was like so important. When you heard the front speaker speak, you'd hear that they're speaking a code, and so that's how I started in 2021. And then we were able to calculate that the Suez Canal ended up getting blocked off, and that's when we thought like everything, all hell's gonna break loose, right? Because we also documented that they took over the entire shipping supply of the planet. Okay, so like Evergreen, which was owned by the Clintons, like they named all the ships after operatives that are working in the operation. And so we were like trying to show people like, look guys, look, check it out. And they're like, oh, who cares if it's called, Operation Spearhead or Black Knight Rider or JFK and this and that, whether it was a psyop or not, in the institution of where we actually see the control was evidential at that point now. So the psyop in of itself, I can get in contingent to the monarchy program, and that's where the real psyop comes in, and that's where my professionality came to, once again, also being presenting of the genetic information and the long suit of things. But yeah.
So I actually had a question myself
Mhm.
that I think is very important. So through you, we have found somebody else by the name of Lily Nova, and I was just curious what your relationship to Lily Nova is.
Oh, whoa there, folks. I've talked to her before. Early stages of her forthcoming. I was there, very supportive of the identity of that. Once again, I was really beginning into stepping into exopolitics because I was having major contact, major dreams, major activation, stuff that I can't like. I mean, I would love to tell you. I love to talk about it, but I don't think you follow. And it's also very personal, and I'm kind of building up my show for it. I hate to spoil all the fun here, but with that being said, I've reached out to her before and I asked for an interview. I really did, because she's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I want to interview her at some point. So I was just curious what, like, you don't have to talk about like personal, like real life or anything like that. I was just curious what your relationship with her is.
No, I personally just like it was a brushing shoulders in the hallway status. Like, oh hey, look, check it out. Like, I don't know, just early stages, star systems, talking about different stuff. I was in the communities. There's I think it was Victor that like I was leaning into. It was just when they were really starting to pick up like psychic stuff. And a lot of that, you're talking about like DNA activation episodes and that's an intense subject, because you talk about blue avians, okay, and then you could talk about like Andromedan beings, okay, and I once again I can't be as clear as I am as much as I am right now, okay. So there's so much information that I've transcribed and I put out for about myself, okay. There's beings, okay. I'm high vibe boy. Let's put it that way. You got many different names out there. I'm high vibe boy. There's a fact. That's a fact. I'd be ready to get in groundbreaking rules and put up a good old fight to the death for it. And it's not like, once again, it's an ego thing. I don't come out and say that, but it's the truth. What they talk about in those communities. Like, I'm a prime example of one of the 42. And if anybody that kind of even knows what that might be, but it's a fact. You can't get around it. Hello, how is everybody doing? I'm one of the fact. Whatever.
Alex, I have another question. So when you came into, I believe it was the Turd Island call, like before we got going, I correctly identified you as a Scorpio, and you are now identifying yourself as a high energy individual. So have you ever had your chart done, and how many of your houses reside in Scorpio? Because it must be more than one.
So I mean, like right now, the opportunity of moving forward for exact information is like so so important to my work right now. So I'm waiting on the issue of a new birth certificate for exact occurrence. I was born November 4th, 1993. I was born at a time that I'm not exactly sure of. However, I've been told from anywhere between 6, 7 in the morning, potentially 11:23 at one point. But these are things that, I'm not specific of, but other than that, that's what I've been given in my life. Somebody did once say chart of chakras, and like my manifestation is like through the roof.
They never
and
give
with-
you like a zodiac chart though. You don't know your houses.
No, man. So I mean, you'd be more if you have lady, if you have an opportunity of doing that, that'd be great, and see
Yeah,
what
I
we come
can
up, whatever that
do
is.
your chart for you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so check this out. So there's 13 months, right, in a year, okay? And there's 12. Well, there's Ophiuchus, and Ophiuchus is between like the late parts of November and the earlier parts of December. Now, when we're breaking down some of the things that I've come into understanding as far as phases, okay, I'm going to jump around here a little bit. Bear with me. Georgia Guidestones, they got hit with that giant bolt of lightning, right? Well, ever since then, I was tracking the phases of gestation. So I was thinking about how long it took for any one person to react, think, and feel. And so that was directly associated with astrology. Because if you take in consideration 13 months, and if the military is working for the good almighty Lord of all things, you know that the most accurate calendar that we had last was the Julian calendar, and that was under under the times of Jesus. Okay, and so when you take in consideration that, it's so beautiful to then see the denomination of Ophiuchus being a complicit to in the dynamic of the houses. And if it's not 12 tribes of Israel, I believe it's 13 from my documentation. That's groundbreaking. Okay, if we really talk about not 12 houses and 144,000 is a frequency per se, but even then 173 is more specific to healing. So what is these sutures of Masons having doctrine some of these specifics? Now, it's very important to understand that the biblical conscripts and texts are there to give us opportunity to get us back to ourselves dimensionally. Talk about matrix and underlining that, and with code, it gets in a fine line of greasy concepts, and it's really poor descriptions when you come to that kind of sci-fi. It's more of that when you hear the word benevolence divine, it's that lighter, it's that euphoria. When you're really, really happy, that's like, how are you going to fly when you go to Neverland? Like when you're talking about being on cloud 9 and having a good time at a rave, like that all the time, but you don't need the substance. And we can actually do that here as the now. And that's why they talk about ascension, and Lily Noah will probably talk about DNA activation, basically doing the meditative exercises to do that spiritual growth, to come into your self-actualization and be the forefront. Like I said, I'm at the moment right now, my information is going to be groundbreaking to be able to help prove the epigenetics into the lineages of what they've been working with in the operations as of today.
Any follow-ups to that? I mean, this
None
is
of my.
But I can tell you, I love you. I love you guys. Thanks for.
Aw.
I love you
I
too.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you, dude. Thank you for coming on. This has been amazing. Well,
Okay, so look, direction. Okay, look. So you got location. So I started Telegram. It's open sourced. Okay, it has previous transcriptions. You can look back at that. But more often than not, I'm going to go ahead and get Dirt Road Discussions link, and I'll drop it down here. Lady can quote it in, and what it is it's a place where you can go and you can see ivermectin application, which is going to help you with detoxing. Okay. And so, you can basically see people's testimonies, what they're doing with it, and, give it a shot. But there's also information regarding removing calcification of the pineal gland. So you're, ingesting turmeric, you're having those natural holistics to be able to detoxify, drink a lot of water, and remove it out yourself. They talk about different sciences behind what it means to drink water that is, properly prepared. And you could also go as far as they show you how to make hydrochloroquine for no more than $8. And I've done that a couple times, and my kids had a cold, and I would give it to them, and within a day, 24 hours, better than anything I had over the counter, dude. And especially for myself, I worked in the casino industry, I was around cooties all the time, supposedly, so that's a really good place where everybody can start.
Motherfucker.
Interesting.
Motherfucker. I've been
Um,
around
Them
cute.
cooties, man, them cooties.
Cody's gonna kill us
So-
all.
Oh no.
Okay, lady, I've seen the side chat. You said you have lots of questions. Ask away. I have zero
Okay,
questions. I'm just
so-
listening.
So, yeah. So, Alex, I know through like previous conversations of ours, you've told me quite a bit. I have done a bit of the research, and I'm not gonna lie, I have more questions than answers. Would you mind?
Please, yay, come on now, step right up.
Right. Okay. So I have a few that are just basic ones. So how did you come into this belief of yours? Most of it has to start somewhere. Like for example, Christianity started way back when, the various pantheons as well. Can you like explain what brought you to this?
This is all right. Okay, all right. I'll do it. I'll do it here. I'll tell you what's up. All right. So, well, in my youth, I was a troublemaker. Okay, and I went through a lot as a child. Okay, and abuse. A lot of major starseed, really refined leaders of our time, especially as of right now, one way or another went through some crazy hard shit. Some pain. And when you consider that, okay, I mean that is probably at that point there in that moment, it's just one of the most important things to any one person. So I was 16 years old. I was still playing with Legos. I got Halo Reach at the time. I smacked it. Ooh, I got every single legendary. I got every single achievement besides one achievement. You needed to open the PvP needed to open to get it, but I had every single one the first day of release, dude. I grinded that shit out, right? And so it was at that moment I realized that I myself could be a hero like Tony. And so I took in the responsibility and the nature, and I started trying to grow shrooms at like 16 because like I saw rock and roll, loved Pink Floyd. I saw a holistic form of medicine behind it. My soul was just like, "Yo, you need to do this." And I was like 16. I was like, "I'm growing shrooms." So I was sterilizing rye seeds at like 3 in the morning while my parents were sleeping, and I was able to get that sterilized, inoculate them with the Amazonia B+ magic mushrooms they had from Canada, shipped in directly on ice. And, I was able to get about halfway through a cake, and that's when my stepdad found him. He threw a fit. It was a big problem. Needless to say, I wasn't living there anymore, but, I had to get rid of the evidence. And so I remember throwing that shit out back Michael's craft store, like, I will create you again. And so I did. And later on, I was able to do a full batch. It's a little bit later in my years, but then I, once again had treated myself with mushrooms on separate occasions. So, I was able to do it without growing my own. But I always wanted my own because I couldn't get them in long lines. I was a very young youth. Let's look what the internet could do for a young man at that time. So, once again, kind of like get back on track here. Like my mom died. She died of stage 4 lung cancer at 42 years old. She was diagnosed in February 2015, and she was dead by July 25th at 2:55. I was in a friend of mine's house, wrapped up in some drapes, and I was an addict. I was in pain. I just had my son. I had my first child. I knew my responsibility of bringing a life into this world, and there was issues there, and I was taking some time. My fiance at the time said, "Yeah, I'd take some time," and I was at my friend's, and she passed away. She was down in Florida, and I came back, and it was tough. That was my father wasn't around too much, and later in the times which you'll probably know me, that I figured out that like I have a different father as of today than I thought. But with that commonality of knowing that every superhero story starts this way, guys. So it all starts with tragedy and heartache, and you realize that like you have either gonna die or you're gonna live. That grief is either gonna take you or it's not. And so it was early 2016 that I decided, I'm gonna go see my grandma, who is Native American. She had a little bit more insight with certain things like that than I did. And my mom passed, and it was hard. I wasn't able to get back on track. I was trying to work. I was doing good. I was doing all right, but I wasn't there. I wasn't all there. I was like, I can't live this way. I can't give you. Let me go see some of my family, see my grandma, who was my mom's mom, and have some peace. And so upon that journey, I was able to come in contact with DMT. And that was the experience I was able to let go of my mom. Like I was able to have full blown communication in regards to that reverence and peace. I was able to then commune with, because you're not supposed to talk about the dead, and that was a big controversy. You can't talk to the dead, and da da da. But there's like we made a an exception for you. And I was like, oh, thanks. Well, what do you know? And so I got to speak with a beautiful blue being that was very Native American, crisscross applesauce. You're sitting there, and all around me was a big old ring. It was this beautiful golden ring on the outskirts of this horizon. And I saw the earth below us. We're far above the earth, and it was as if that ring was like billowing in and out of itself on each side. And I was able to see the stars all around, but there was a sense of, you're in trouble. Like, because I did DMT, but it wasn't necessarily the best proper of settings, but I immediately put in my flute music, went and sat and then lay down underneath the orange tree. So I was broken away from the crowd. I was having some intense visuals and stuff going up, and then centerfold meditation went there. And he said to me, like, you're in trouble, you shouldn't be here. And I'm like, I want to talk about my mom. Like, okay, we can't, you're not supposed to do that. And then there was no movement of the lips. It was all energy, frequency, feeling through the heart. And it was just so beautiful, so awesome. And in doing so, I was able to be told, like, okay, like, you asked for knowledge. And so, like, I came to, and, that week later, I'm like, I don't feel very knowledgeable, I didn't really remember anything that happened. So that's where you talk about gestation. And that's what we talk about consciousness even now. It took me 6 months to even understand the slightest form of what really happened that moment of 45 minutes to an hour. And that was an opportunity to say peace to my mom, and at that point install the preparation for where I ended up receiving Voice to Skull in 2022. That's when like I had that experience at a very young age in 21, and then it was about 27 years old. I think it was about 2000. It was 2021. I watched that fake inauguration, and then I went right into working with Truth Economics, and then from there I expanded, stepped into the exopolitics, worked with the Blue Avians, talking about those democracies as far as energies and frequencies. As I feel as though that I've very much been in that position at times, to being able to align and commune with energies of those sorts. Now we're at a time period where you don't want to run into somebody you don't want to, and that's what ended up happening. Is I got the Voice of Skull activated, started having these visuals and experiences, and then I went to try to save somebody in my dream, somebody I shouldn't have tried to save, and then I got attacked, and ever since then I've been very like I'm guarded. I don't do any kind of stuff like that. I don't try to go and battle in the astral. That's not my sutra. That's not my contract. My responsibility and my mission is here as of today is the likeness of transitioning information of Metatron's form of communication and benevolent information such as deities that are here in the now, like Yeshua, and the benevolent forms of like even Ishtar. These realities of these perpetuated forms of overlaying existence coming into one another, into the fruition that you think is humanistic, but it's not always so humanistic as you think. And so the practicality and some logistics and logic to grounding the foundation is kind of thrown out. But when I got to see the opportunity of saying goodbye to my mom and making peace with that, I came back and I worked for 2 more years in the casino industry up until about 2018. I went on, my opportunity of breaking away. I met another individual in my life, and that's where I really started understanding the Richter scale of choices. And, I was making choices at that point in time, then into the faith of my heart, because, I had to turn away for a lot of different things, I'm sober, I'm clean, I'm a good man. I love my kids, yet, I'm not around my kids right now. I don't have the time per se because I'm in Arizona. They're in Iowa. I don't really necessarily, once again, that it's being able to plan ahead of time. I'm having to get there, economically at some point, and that's also a whole different ball game. Okay, when you talk about that kind of stuff, it requires a lot of more explanation. But I'm glad I got to have those experiences, because if I didn't have the experiences I had with those children, and being the father that I am, I love being a dad, then I wouldn't be able to have the patience and to be able to articulate the things that I am to you as of today, because I love you guys as my brothers and sisters, man, and to see that is to have the patience of knowledge and teaching, and it's very much, once again, furrowed from having been a dad already. Like, who wants apples and peanut butter? I got you guys. We got a Tombstone pizza, and we're having a little TV tonight, and we'll watch a movie and play some Legos, and maybe a little Minecraft. Why not? And so these things, I also want you to know that I love and I care about. And so by realizing that, and realizing that I was waking into myself and I was having past life regressions and experiences of such, that my overall vigilance came from, once again, wanting to save my entirety of saving everybody. If I were to do something, and then I prayed and I was cared for, and I can get into more details, miracles, things that like I should be dead. There's certain things, but that's why I came into it, because I knew that there were people that lost people in this world that shouldn't have. I think that people such as like my experiences overall, like they came into the opportunity of obstacles to teach and know that I don't want any other person to have to deal with this measure when we have the resources, knowledge, and groundwork to save people even as the now. That's why I'm so adamant about self-liberation, and we're setting together a thing called Wizard Fest, and it's just so exciting to once again have an opportunity where we're going to start meeting up beyond just like the exopolitics. Okay. We're going to see a real. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. And that's about.
We got to start shortening the answers because we have questions. We got to start.
Phil, I'm so sorry that Chabby, I got flab in my mouth. You just tell me to stop it.
No, we don't want to be rude, but we got to shorten some of these answers.
Oh, please be rude. I mean, we're never going to get anything done.
Oh no!
I'm really sorry.
Why are you talking in random accents?
Listen, I like goes, man. I can't. Yeah, I don't ask questions anymore. You guys ask the questions. Come on now.
I just asked the question. I just asked.
Well, please re-ask it. Please re-ask it.
This guy is fucking great, bro. This guy's great.
He's great. He's great. But we have so many questions.
Oh my goodness.
So many questions, so little time.
Lady has a docket. Chat has asked questions. We have people wanting to join. We gotta get.
AJ is not joining. Fuck off.
AJ will never join. He's a femboy.
By the way, Chat, if you want to call in and ask Alex some questions, this won't be like Turd Island where all Tony does is scream over him. He'll be able to answer. Unless he goes on.
Tony can call in. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, he can't.
Tony, I got the milk if you got the flake, my boy.
Okay, callers, we will accept callers at this time. During when everyone with their docket of questions, ask your questions, get in waiting for the audience. Other than that, let's continue. Yep, and my mic now works. For some reason, Streamlabs kicked me off my mic. Streamlabs,
poor Burn.
Streamlabs likes the conspiracy theories. They're with the enemy.
So what was this about the eclipse making all the women go into labor?
You just had a bunch of light beings started to get pumped in, so like now we're starting, it's kind of like it's as if like you had a planet that had like no life on it and you had to create it eco-friendly. That's kind of like what they're doing. So they're going to just throw more wallies down there and they'll be birthing into beautiful light beings that are loving, compassionate, and want to help people. Why do you think, the only people that I'm battling in this atmosphere that I'm dealing with, a bunch of old people. That's all these old indoctrinated, old school, old dogma, all this shit. This is a revolution of saving people. And those people, those are, sorry that they did that to us, but, we're going to save everybody. And you guys are going to come online.
Hear that? If you're old, you're the enemy.
I'm going to pull in AJ. AJ's going to say something retarded, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, Deadhead, you're allowed to make fun of this guy. You're allowed to make fun of him.
Because he's actually Deadhead.
Yeah. He's just as much of a flake as Tony.
Tony,
All right.
Tony 2.0, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, AJ? You're live.
I'm not Tony.
I don't know about that one,
Okay,
buddy.
fanboy.
I like the
That's
hat.
not true. Anyways, I just want to say that this guy's cooler than Tony. He sounds really interesting, and I would like to meet you. You sound very interesting.
We're meeting him now!
Dude.
Oh my goodness.
You're better than
AJ,
Tony.
we don't need your recommendation. We need your questions. Dang it.
Questions! Or I'm gonna kick you from the call. I'm gonna kick you from the
Okay,
Discord.
what
I'm
do you
gonna
think
ban
about
you.
aliens?
Bro, did you not listen to a word that was fucking said this entire podcast?
Yeah, what
he
the f-
already explained what he thought of aliens and higher beings. What are you on
No,
about?
I got you.
Wait,
First
hold on.
off, man, dude,
Yeah,
I
go.
love your top hat, bro. I love this top
Thank
hat.
you.
Man. I love the face. I really love the fit today. I really, dude, showed up, showed out. I love it, bro. Okay, so aliens, man, dude, there's so many complexes to this because you have to realize that all it comes down is genetics. What they're looking like, what they're feeling like. Now, there was something that lady was saying earlier that's so interesting to the subject that I'm working with as of right now. I'm actually in discussion with it with a few of my major agents because we're talking about a genetic alteration where women are forced to menstruate every month when they shouldn't have to. And this was genetically
Yeah.
alteration. So when you talk about alien, what is foreign and what is not? And then we're talking about the real identity behind that is really long, but short answer, we're talking about real genetics. You can talk about aliens being here in the now. Energetic beings that are already in the vessels that are being procreated and created to once again fight the principalities that be. Naturally. We were born this way. We're created for this, So that's that.
Oh, wait. I have a question. Another question. Do you think there's like an afterlife?
The afterlife of the Ark of the Covenant is like when you're birthing yourself through actualization, like you're looking in the mirror and you're experiencing, okay? And when you're out there and say you walk out into the fields and you're overlooking and you see a beautiful horizon and you're just in so much love and light, that your creator on that arc system that you're right beside, that all your brothers and sisters are a part of that system. Imagine like a big digital cloud. That's a frequency. That's what Tesla spoke about. It's the same dynamic of knowing full well that like if you want to commune with your mother and your father, that there are these frequencies in time that were kept by the Lord, by the ultimate almighty great spirit, as the Native Americans would say. Okay, so this divination, this arc system that we were gifted through creation was also because like they were tired of seeing just clones die. And so that was the gift of life that Christ had given us. And you go into different biblical concepts to be able to exaggerate on it into the real definition of genetics, and then being how we're actually able to experience and preserve our souls.
Do you think that there is such thing as like reincarnation?
Yeah, so like reincarnation is through the epigenetics and the episodes of knowing full well that some of these frequencies can harbor the opportunity of specific vessels. Can you hear me?
Hold on, AJ.
I can hear you.
Hold on, AJ. Have you not been listening at all? This is like
Oh, wait,
this
hold
third
on, my
time we
Discord
went through
crashed.
Yeah.
AJ.
All right, thank you for joining the call, AJ. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. And get the fuck out. Asking questions we've already either asked or he has explained whatever he's answered.
Fuck him. See, this is why AJ.
So,
this is why AJ's part of the enemy, bro. He's worse than Tony.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but that was a great question, man. Thank you for your questions, dude.
Still thanks, so that's.
You're much nicer than us to AJ.
Isn't he the most wholesome guy, guys?
Yeah, maybe this guy could be a full replacement for Tony.
Yeah. But he has to learn
I
to
don't know,
talk
what do you
about.
think?
He has to learn to talk about the dumb shit we talk about too.
Oh dear.
Okay.
So-
Like,
about...
Just cop your gun. What the
All right.
Okay.
So
We don't
I'm cleaning my mags right now. I was just getting rid of the
Oh
bullets.
god.
Okay, for a second I thought you were about to
No.
threaten this poor man.
No,
You-
I'm cleaning while
You leave
while
this
we do
wholesome. Okay.
No, I like this guy. What are you talking about? I like that head.
So-
I followed him on Twitter. He's my new friend now.
Nice.
I'm still
So how
followed
many-
by Tony. But go ahead.
I'm not followed by
Bird,
Tony.
I swear to God, I'm gonna chuck this book of paper at your head.
I'll die.
You made threats to me earlier today. I don't care.
So she said burn.
I
Listen
will.
up.
Yeah, Burn, listen up.
Anyway, ask your questions about things that we may have
Okay.
already asked about.
I can promise you haven't asked this question.
Okay.
So, I remember in a different stream you did, I'm not sure which one it was, but you said that there's a specific group that's like harvesting and eating people. Can you talk more about that?
So there's a point in time where you understand that in the 1500s, during and after Seal 6, that there was not enough in the population. So they started using what you would call a Cabbage Patch Society, where they were creating people. And they're also doing genetic alterations to keep the primary DNA substrate that is gifted from the creator to be fully activated. So during this time period, there were these houses and factions. Some of these factions in the early times, such as like King Solomon, he would have multiple concubines known as lilies, and these liliths and would be virgins. And what they would do is that you understand that the womb in itself is a stargate, so that these kings would ingest these menstrual flows to activate full pineal expansion. Instead of basically using psilocybin, that's how they were doing beforehand. And then somebody came forward and said, this is the bread of Christ. And so when they started using the expansion methodologies of the different holistic values, and in doing so, there was a controversy in regards to power exchange between these major barbarian and major killers, big fight-oriented tribes, and then the other tribes in regards to like the Draconians, Draculas, or Blood Princes per se. And so like there's these factions that once again, oh, you sound like Dune, da da da. Well, that's where you're seeing a lot of these movies and these old transcripts, or even so-called sci-fis coming so forward into making it so that you think this stuff isn't real, when in actuality they're desensitizing you because they're going to tell you no matter what, they have to. Spiritual contracts. It's time. You can't avoid it, right? And so, yeah, short and sweet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh.
All right.
Lady, you had all the questions.
I do. I have all of the questions. I even have them public for you guys to use, but no, I have to be the schizophrenic that has the billion questions.
I asked about the eclipse and the women going into labor, and now I gotta go piss. That's why you're asking the next question.
Wow. Okay, so, Joe, or not Joe, I hate you.
What
no.
is it? Huh? What? What?
It's just like
Shut up, Pookie Bear.
It's just like when I called Joe Tony that one time, bro.
Blasphemy!
All right.
Continue.
So in the looking around like you asked, I came upon a bunch of alien species that I haven't heard of before. And I know that you also have an alien species. I think, as you know, we had a past member of the group talk about a specific type of alien. What are your thoughts on a scorpion? What was it? The scorpion hawk or the tarantula scorpion?
Yeah, the mosquito tarantula hawks and the space scorpions.
Well, here's it. All right, so let me kind of, this'll be. I know what your question is. Sorry to cut you off. So the chimeras. Okay, so the the chimeras. You have to understand, just as like you have these altercation of genetics. When you're starting to come online and you realize that our bodies, these light bodies, we're actually able to commune with them and use them even more so than we've been told. So in doing so, in the higher dimensional frequencies, in those lighter conscious and the development of such, you realize that you can actually alter DNA. So when you talk about going through like a 7-layer sound bath in these monolithic structures during like the times of Egyptian, Aztecs, etc., Isbis as a whole, that you're realizing that they're going through these chambers to get to the highest frequency they can, so their brain can pick up the light visual and or the resonation of that being in the chamber to discuss with the ancients, with the ancestors, with people that were here long before within the family of ourselves. And it's very, very fascinating how the Egyptians documented this, and then how the Romans came in and fractured them up and threw them inside crystal skulls and scattered them. And then who wanted to find the crystal skulls? Hitler did.
Indiana
Who
Jones.
ended up, and Hitler ended up getting replaced by Walt Disney. There you go. There's something for you. Take that red pill.
What the fuck?
The mouse is a Nazi.
Oh
Who
no,
would've
let him
guessed?
cook. No, let him
Yeah,
cook.
let him cook. Let him cook. I want to know more about that. Actually, continue with that
No,
one.
you want to know about the Nazis in Disney World, do you?
Yes,
Yeah, I
Well,
did.
let me tell you.
I'm very
Please.
intrigued.
It's so
It is a
fucked up. It's
small
disgusting.
world.
This is my fucking
horrible.
territory, so let's go.
Yeah, I would love to hear
Okay,
about this.
all right, let's check it out. So we have
Joe
documentation
are
that during the
activated.
times of Nazi Germany, okay, you really have the realization that these activations, once again, I said, were coming up throughout time. And so you talk about these major light beings that are stuck here in the reincarnation process. So like, who's Anubis, who's Abraxas, who's these legendary predecessors of Thoth, the priests of Hermes, Zeus, all the Jupiter, Saturn, say all these different beings, even bad beings. Okay, I jackpotted some bad beings. Okay, believe it or not. So like we in ourselves, have to take into the formality of that, and like when this is some intense subjects as far as contrast of information that we've got from that core form of exopolitics. I can't stress enough that the difference overall that you're seeing from these beings into ourselves is once again going to be recognized more so through the adaptation of once again communicating and unifying. Otherwise, we're going to get segregated, and I believe that's what they planned for. I think the nefarious before I think there's an intervention, or if there is no intervention, we are the intervention, which I hate for that to be the case, but there's an elephant in the room, but yeah. So okay. So anyways, let me just get back on track here one more time. When you're talking about activation and you're talking about these individuals coming into power and the potentiality of trying to supersede BlackRock, the corporations of America and or the corporation of the globe, ran by the Judeo-Mafia banking system that's right out of the British Royal, but more so even higher up from these malevolent beings that were in contract here, that were using our planet as a slave planet to harvest, eat, and sustain themselves. Because what's so bad about their genetics is that, like I said earlier, some beings don't have sparks, and so they have to live off of the manifestations of the creation light beings that are here in the now. And so you're talking about people like me, Max Spears, who was assassinated, and you're talking about some even our major light governance as of right now that I believe is in full control. We definitely get to see the opportunity of once again that with a lot of people. So it's a pantheon complex. So I might, there's different individuals, different souls, and some of these souls are also elementals. So they're individualized. So their soul source is not off that arc system too. And so you have different commanders coming out. You have different people that are stepping up in the responsibility, saying, "Hey, like I understand that I have to do a liberation. I mean that I have to basically create a forward command of communication, and I'm trying to call literally all star seeds. It's coming. I don't have to do necessarily. I do what I need to do, and I follow God, and it sustains itself. It builds itself. I got 3,700 followers because there's individuals that really know in this communication atmosphere between the exopolitics and geopolitical that there is a suture for this coming down the line that we're all part of, and that if we do the balance right, we can experience it all together instead of falling down, a nefarious path. What other questions do you have, lady?
Oh my goodness, we could be here for an hour at least. So, next question. All right. So I know I know in the Turd Island episode you spoke of Zeus's bones on top of, well, obviously the Christian god. What
Show me the
other,
bone.
is it only the Greek pantheon that exists, or is it possible that the Hindu pantheon also exists?
Are you
Or
talking?
even
You talk about all 9 yards. You're talking of Avengers
all of them?
Assemble status.
Oh dear. All right. Hmm. So, okay. So I know we talked about this previously, but in the first in the first little live that you did, that pretty much got all of our attention to you. You spoke about how blood type equals someone's species. Can you talk a little bit more about, the three main species, where they came from, how the blood types tie to them?
It's like you're gonna test my my circumference here for sure at this point, because well, when we're really looking at the blood types, I see to that, as I said, in the 1500s we've seen some documentation, through that fall of Tartaria, and the obstruction of, once again, the mammalian and the reptilian. And so that's where you have Max Spears just as quoted as I am here as of today, in rendition of explaining that there's these forms in which they're wanting to alter, remove, and keep us from, once again, having full activation to our DNA, to having our full light bodies activated and doing what we want to do, kind of thing. And so it's not when it comes to some of the formality behind that, I can't speak on some things.
Mhm.
That was the first time I had to do that, so that's good. I think my manager would be, my manager would be Lord is proud.
All right. So, I guess in the whole overall sense, who is more powerful? The alien, the more malevolent aliens that you speak of, or I guess the god, at least your depiction of the god.
Or they got jelly bellies. People were jealous. They got mad. They're like, me. That's where you have the whole biblical
Mhm.
transcript in the beginning. They biblically stated, the fall and the segregation of everything and all that stuff. And it's because, like, there was an individual that got mad, went to the Elohim and was like, yo, not fair. Mud flood. And like that happened a couple
Mhm.
times, they said. That's a little controversial. That's a little interesting. So then you expand on that. And so that's where you go into, dare I say, Anunnaki. Okay, but Anunnaki, is that
Mhm.
just another term for Enochian? Enoch, and who is the beginning forms of the evidential proof of humankind, and Adam and Eve under, and then having Cain and Abel underneath that. And then Cain's a good guy. Abel is, if you understand, Abel is Baal. Bael is the same value as Abel, and you're going to realize that the Masonic flip around and how they, I don't want to get into that unless you want to, but that kind of generally points you in the direction of that. Yep.
Interesting. I mean, I definitely like to hear more about that, but uh,
Oh, what were we talking about?
we were talking about essentially who would win in a fight, God or the aliens, and you mentioned the Enochians.
Oh, I would say God, man. God's the prime source. God, the aliens are God. Okay, there's just bad people and there's good people. Less is more. There's no need to continue the segregation per se. Okay, so I mean, when you're talking about, also remember looking back on Lyran beings, you're looking back on all these other different beings. Remember, it's all genetics. It's all genetics. The genetics, frequencies, illusions, disillusion, and so now once again we're coming to the true predecessory of all the information that we had from Atlantean times. The true furrowing of, once again, human nature at a more complex yet simplitude as we're going through this episode of enlightening and transition of technology. It's I when it comes to enemies, the more the enemies that you can see is here's of today, or the parasites, or any sort of nefarious malevolent forces here is it today, like that's going to be seen as genetically modified humans. You've probably heard mentions of real conspiracies, the overall reptilians conspiracies, different species, but they've been liberated too. You talk about the concept of time, the beginning, the past as the present. We're all light beings experiencing. We're experiencing the liberation of this fine-tuned earth, this realm, this opportunity of regaining what we so much has lost. Because I believe that they say this is hell. So who's also the ruler of hell? And it's these angels and these people, these deities and energies that were thrown over a long time ago because of jealousy and power. And so that's where now we get to feel the end of this dark side of the Ouroboros and be birthed into this new generation. And people like Lily Nova that can step up and be a little bit more clear on the substrate. And I'm glad that that's only name mentioned, because there's other people in the exopolitics that very well could be serving the agenda. That what I've been working with is making sure that there's individuals not serving an agenda that is there to, once again, undermine the direct operations of the light governance that is already in the now. Meaning, I didn't want the Vatican to try to stem up somewhere else. That's what I worked with other people. We made sure that there were communication arrays. There was only way they can communicate for so much for certain things. And so that was very important.
Interesting. So there's a question in the chat from Miss Ivana. What do you think is in Antarctica that's so secret that would cause a world treaty?
That's definitely an old civilization. So you talk about the six seals again. You know, it's you can see that once we used to be Pangea. You know, the continent used to be big over here. The water's low over here. You know, that in of itself is really really easy to see to that complex. You're looking at an entire civilization that was up there. They if I'm not mistaken, they threw something down. Okay, talk about those 45-degree angles. But we'll see once what destination we can see for, you know, Igigi or, you know, Isbis, you know, as a whole. I mean, it just really in of itself is not going to be able to be fully processed until certain derivatives, I believe, that are more encased within a collective speech. And that's how the Book of Enoch, he talks Lord of Spirits. It's us as a collective. So if we all hear one thing, like if we had 100 people in a room, and I was wearing a blue shirt, right? And 50 people saw that shirt, and then I took that shirt off and I put on a different shirt and asking some questions. You're going to get mixed answers, but these mixed answers are going to come through in frequencies. And you're going to really get the navigation of an average that the people are able to averagely obtain psychic and or intuitive abilities of coming to these answers through, once again, that fabrication of energy, overlay of timelines, periods, and once again working with the same substrate as to what you're looking at as the old context. And so if you had so many group of people come together and be like, okay, everybody, this is what we have as far as the little bit of evidence in regards to this area. But when we talk about timelines convergence, and you're talking about actually settling the quantum media, and you realize that there is that convergence, that you're going to, you know, there's so much that will come through. You know, it's the great knowing, you know, like you'll just be able to download akashically. You know, you can have a choice. Do you want to know what happened underground? Probably not. You know, it's a lot of trauma down that shithole, but, you know, like you can definitely, you know, at some part, one moment or another, do that even as of now, as they have the last like 4 years of people.
All right. Let's see. So what do you think I'm not entirely sure how to say it. Anuki, what do you think they look like?
Enochians. I mean, there's a point in time where you have to see that, okay, you say there's giants, there's Nephilim, you know, like these previous genetics in these time periods, that you realize that you know, there's some of these modifications, okay, and these modifications in of themselves are there to once again have strength, to have certain things into the sandbox that they can use, be, feel, and do, and so the body and the structure and those things were just more well versed to seeing what you see as far as the past pantheons, as you said, or more than just Zeus and more than just you know even Poseidon being my favorite. You know, that you realize that once again, there was a suture for complicity to in the now for application of such. And we might not have the same biological structures, but if you're having the right bloodline, you're having the right evaluation of being able to process that energy, it can birth it so, and it can will it, especially through rituals or anything like that they did throughout time as well. You know, there's some individuals in this world that, you know, I believe are directly associated with having been brought in from such for such an action. And you talk about the removal of these old nefarious people. You have all these leftover space programs, so you have all these leftover genetic mutants, people of the X-Men community coming to save the world, to show you and remind you that, you know, love is powerful, but, you know, God is even better, because that's what's giving us life. So it's giving us experience, and we wouldn't be able to experience this without that energy. So where the Native Americans respect and the whole design of how we're going to be admitting ourselves into education in the future is going to change. You know, we can't continue teaching these people shitty ass algebra, dude. I'm scared to see the math they're going to throw my kids' way. You know, I want to kind of get ahead of that.
Oh dear.
You know, there's different ways to go about that. So.
Mhm. Let's see. I'm so sorry. I have like a billion questions, but I'm not sure if everyone wants to hear them.
He can always come back. You don't have to ask him all in one night. It's up to you. It's up to you.
Yeah, goddamn.
I mean, I'm going as long as everyone else. Okay, I'm just here. I'm here listening. Burn, please check your fucking DM so people in chat will shut the hell up. Leia said she check DM for boobs. There you go. You're getting boobs on episode 2. Check your fucking DM so they'll stop saying it in chat for the love of fucking God.
I'm looking at my. What do you mean I'm checking my DMs? There's nothing in my fucking DMs. You guys are a bunch of fucking.
The next person that says check DMs, you're
getting banned in chat.
You're a communist.
You're fired.
You're fired.
What the fuck is this? Bro, they are fucking.
What do you mean? I'm just
trolling
listening
us.
to this shit. I'm not. What are you talking about?
Chat's gay. Chat's gay.
I don't even read chat because most of you guys are just fucking retarded. So I'm not even gonna read chat. So
Dude, I'm reading
Chat's
chat.
spelling out the N-word.
Why are you reading chat? I never read chat. So like.
Because some
who gives
people
a
are
fuck what
asking
they think.
questions.
Okay, yeah, and their questions are nothing. Now it's just check the.
Hey, I have a question, Deadhead. Do you have a PS5?
No, stop with the fucking shit. Stop with the fucking N-word.
A PS5, brother, dude. I mean, God of War was a good game, but it wasn't that good. Okay. And then secondly, okay, all right, PC Master Race. Gee, I play all the games on there. What
Respect.
The reason I ask is because Burn, you don't know this, but Burn like had people on for an interview about a very serious story with serious allegations. And he opened up people in his chat to ask questions, and all they would ask are like, does this person have a PS5? Is this person going to play games made by anybody other than Nintendo? So not every guest we have on, I'm going to ask them if they have a PS5. It's over. It's done.
Back to a hard Minecraft grind right now.
Minecraft,
that is amazing.
He's coming to the outer orbit SMP.
Yes.
You do have a realm going on. Do you play Bedrock or Java?
Oh, I would love to. That would be great. Out of the parameters of where I'm at, what I have to do at this moment, I cannot enjoy it other than on a Nintendo Switch, which, you know, it's not so bad, but I mean, it's kind of cringe sometimes.
I know.
It's, you know.
Wait. Dude, does the Switch have realms? Because if it does have realms, yours is
Yes.
yours is
Yes.
Bedrock. That's what that means. Yours is Bedrock.
So you could join.
Java
I haven't had
is.
Wi-Fi in like 3 years, dude.
Oh, damn. Never mind.
Okay. Final question. I pinky promise, chat. What are the number posts? Like, I know that you post them, and I've tried to figure it out because, like, I know there's a tangential little message behind them, but what are they? Like, what is their purpose?
I got you. So just like I think I talked earlier in regards to the bells in the Himalayas and stuff like that, right? And how like basically words can have values, and those values are able to be a spell. That's why they call it spelling. It's not because you're writing; it's because you're speaking. When you cast a spell, that's why you have all these movies and Avradabradabra, you know, like you're actually speaking and invoking energy. Okay, so when you're talking about what those numbers of what I'm doing, it's called gematria, and it's called numerology. And this form of communication is an old style form of communication, and is one of our senses and one of our tools of humanity that the nefarious individuals never wanted us to know, because they organize and they contribute everything into these forms of habitual happenings through the delegation of specific words. What this means, I'll explain like you're 5. Here, I got you. Because I'm the same way some days. I'll tell you what, there's nothing wrong with it, okay? What they're doing is that the word, let's put it, hold on. The word fuck, okay? F-U-C-K, okay? The word fuck, okay? Has the same, okay, F, check this out, F. So wait, F is 7, okay? 7, all right? U is 21, C is 3, and K is 11. And you add them up, okay, it's the same value as the word demon. Okay? So every time you say the word fuck, you're invoking demonic forces, demonic energy. And it's not, oh, it sounds like a conspiracy. No, indubitably it must remain merciful. No, you have to realize all these other languages. Okay, you talk about China, you're talking about Russia. They all have their own frequencies too. And what you're realizing with these denominations within the numbers that I have as of today, is that they wanted to keep the gematria prophecy from it being admittance into having been completed at the end of King James Version Bible. That's just it. In order to get around it, they were able to simplify it, create the simple gematria, and realign the opportunity using the AI Babylonian system to procure specific deities to come out and stop it. And the monarch system was there to be able to harness specific hierarchy beings and use them for sacrifice. But we beat the bad guys, and we're using the bad system against them by procuring pantheons and legends and angels to help desensitize and heal the planet.
Okay. Are there any more questions?
I have no further questions.
I'm good.
That's a lot for me to
Wes,
process.
is there no one talking besides him? No. We're letting him talk.
It's
Okay.
an interview for him.
So the
to get
gematria.
Hold on. Small PP. This is not Tony, where Tony's just like talking over everyone and being rude, and we just want to kick him and time him out for a week. Okay. It's a different experience.
Yeah, we're a polite podcast. We
A
only
different
scream at each other when you guys can't hear it.
Yeah.
What the hell's a
This
CERN?
was so. This is the opposite of what happened on.
Okay,
Turtle
hold
Island.
up. Direction. Okay, so when these numbers and what you're seeing me do as of right now, okay, these numbers are coming directly from the database gematria.org, which I believe is coming from a supercomputer that's connected to pretty much everybody's fucking phone on the planet. Okay, and what they're using is called the fire and brimstone. It's the same concepts they used during the Atlantean times as it were in the days of Noah. And once again, finalizing the delegation of judgment and people. Okay, so now calm down. Nobody ain't gonna just won't be fire from the sky and stuff like that. What that means is that there's the judges of the world that are to be anointed by a process, and this is the humanistic design necessary to find okay the true individuals within Lost in Time, to help people realize that all this dogma and ideology of religion and stuff like that was there to hurt and abuse us, and that we're here to save people. That's it's really what it is. I mean, and not to stress you out, but we've already had these people. This has been going on for 4 years. You guys are waking up hearing this at the end tail of the shit. This is about to go to 0 to 100 real quick. I promise you that. You know.
There you go. There you go, chat.
Ivana, it's scary what CERN is doing. They found the God particle and are recreating the Big Bang, smashing atoms together. What do you have to say to that?
In the gematria atmosphere, they had open discussions in regards to CERN being a portal system. They think that they're trying to open up a portal to evil energies, but in actuality, they're said that it's opening a frequency layer to allow ushering in of higher dimensional frequencies, so higher light beings. But there's confliction there within the atmosphere. I believe personally that CERN is a no-go. I think it's a no bueno. I think that there's some powers and principalities in this dualistic world, because it's still a dualistic planet. If you hear in all the exopolitics, at least they agree to the free will of the entirety, and knowing full well that there are still malevolent contracts being associated by being able to keep people to sleep the way they are as of today. And so we have to slowly peel back the definition of that. Yeah. I love you. I love you so much. I'm a bit different, I know. So my name is William Alex Roach. I was born November 4th, 1993 in Kingman, Arizona. The biological structure in which I have is a little different than most. And because of my activation and pursuing of the constant endeavors and knowledge, was able to give me a basis to experience to have what I have as today. And I thank you for the opportunity of expelling my knowledge with you all.
Yeah, I have one last question to end all this on. Do you wipe or let it crust?
What the
Dude, I
fuck?
perch.
There you go, he gargoyles.
But
Lord Almighty.
This is why nobody invites us to fun things.
yeah. no,
That's fun, man.
somehow we'll get tagged later, and we'll have to go into a VC with some of these retards and talk to them. So that would
Okay,
be
guys, we are not okay. We are not letting now recording getting to him. I will die on that hill.
great. Don't
I
worry.
agree.
Don't. Yeah. Well.
But then
They
again,
could have Tony, but they timed out Tony for a week. I wonder how that went. That happened fast. Burn your dickhead for what you're doing to Tony. Like 2 days later. How about we time him out? Fuck this guy.
poor Tony. He was trying to spread his
Oh.
wisdom, spread his truth, and then he got timed out
He
for
wasn't
being
even trying to
schizophrenic.
spread his truth. He said he was at the hospital.
Well, fuck
yeah,
off.
there was that.
I don't know if I believe that, but that's whatever. That's sort of speculation.
That one's for Tony.
But is there anything else? Last ways before we end this. Deadhead, I would love to have you on for like every week at this point. Well, every other week. This is a bi-weekly podcast. I think
As
you'd
long
be
as
a
you
great-
shorten everything. As long as you shorten everything.
Oh
I
my
shorten
God.
it down. It's just I'm so used to dealing with long and gated things. But it's all right. We'll go ahead and deal with the matter. I don't know. Slow it down a little bit, and get more punctual to absolute.
There you
standards.
go.
Can I just say I love your accents, by the way?
Yeah, they're funny. I never got an answer why you did it though. Like what?
I don't know who you're dealing with at any moment, dude. I'm actually sitting here with like 12 other people. You just don't know it.
Well, I would like to meet them all, except for the ones that might kill me.
Ain't nobody gonna kill you. Ain't nobody kill you. Everybody gonna be all right. They're real friendly. It'll be okay.
All right,
It'll
if
be
they're
all right.
friendly, I want to meet them all. All of them.
But
Next
seriously,
time on Out of Orbit.
Yeah, seriously though, I would love to have you every 2 weeks on the podcast.
Hey man, just message me. Hit me up. I'm sorry it was late today. Unfortunately, it was late last time too. I promise I'll pick that up, man. I had to fail math class because of that shit, so I hate for it to happen again, man. I want you guys to get this information. You guys pass this on. You guys are helping those people that have questions.
Yes.
But you and yourselves are going to develop yourselves independently. I know it's a lot. Look, I packed in a lot, okay? You guys, it's your first little show, whatnot. I don't think it's not little because it's about to be big. You talk about this kind of stuff, dude. Nobody's talking about this shit. This shit'll blow people away, dude. This is Animatron, dude. This is Ron Animatron. This is Shane Browning status, Axel Voss. You got the big head pinnacle individuals right now that are in the PSYOP movement and or disclosure process of principalities that are coming into power. The kings and the queens of the new era. So once again, I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for the time. And I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be
Thank
here
you
every
so
2
much
weeks.
for coming in.
Absolutely.
amazing.
And next
Hell
week,
yeah.
I am going to do my best to get Lily Nova on here. I've got
Oh my
some very
God, shut
important
up.
questions.
Joe,
If you can land that, dude.
cannot.
If you land that, dude, I guarantee you, bro, that would be amazing, dude. I'd straight up, because you run those charts. I think it was Lady, if you could please run my charts, and another reason I do the numbers
what
is for
charts?
proof, So the chakra charts,
No, that was me. That wasn't Lady.
The names
Was
are
it-
confusing.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was
not
Ember.
that smart.
Well, Lady
that
number.
was,
What?
that was Discord
Who's
Kitten is
Ember?
Ember. That's Ember. Her name's Ember. Lady is actually Lady Sugar.
Lady, and you
Kid.
got Ember. Well, Ember, please, the chakras. That would be
Wait,
pretty cool, man.
wait. I have a question now because Burn typed it out.
No.
Do you know? Wait. Give me a goddamn minute.
Okay.
Yes.
Let him
Do
cook,
you-
burn.
Do you
what?
know about the Asudum charts, Mr.
Oh, son of a fucking bitch! Well, it's one of them nights, boys.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry, Alex. But,
You don't want to know about
anything
that chart. That chart's like
You don't want to
actually-
know about that chart. No, I don't want to know about it. I wish I never learned.
Hi.
The amount of hours
Joe,
of my
I
life
am
I
the
have lost to
Avatar.
that fucking chart.
No, Joe, I'm the avatar by say so of the chart.
I'm going to go castrate myself. It's gonna be a dick cutting good time before I listen to more about that fucking chart.
Let's go.
We're not gonna talk about the chart. Maybe maybe in 2 weeks we'll talk about the chart in detail.
That will be my very first question. 2 weeks from now.
I got a question, dude. I got a question. What's the chart, dude? What's the chart?
The Asudum chart. That's what.
Dad, thank you for coming on the show. We're ending the podcast now. Thank you so much.
Here, I could DM you about it.
It's awful. It's an awful chart.
This is all you need to
It's a
know. Tony
wonderful
made
chart.
it. Tony made it, and he doesn't even understand how it works.
Dude, it could be like the secrets of the universe. This is what I came here for, man. Hey, I love you guys.
Look,
I'll
the chart
talk to you
says
guys
I'm
soon.
the Avatar.
Yeah.
Do you want me to have any
care,
power in
take
all
care.
honesty? Do I look like I should be in power of anything?
I think the answer lies on the R.
Like, as much as I want to go on this Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy adventure with Alex, I can tell you that Tony is not the answer. Okay, bud? Like, there's so many options we could explore. One of them is not going to be Tony. Been there, done that. It's just not it. It's a dead end. He's just full of shit. There's some
I'm
people
gonna
in
go
life,
down the Starseed
there's some people
rabbit
in life
hole.
that are actually in touch with
Oh my
with
God.
something else, or people that are sensitive to like higher vibrations or interpretations of other things, right? Sure, I absolutely believe that. I even believe that there is a larger system that is suppressing the psychokinesis that humans are generally capable of. I absolutely fucking am on board with you. But I also believe that there are snake oil salesmen who will quickly sell you something that they believe makes them special or different or extraordinary in some way and gives them the kind of attention that they're looking for. And I think Tony falls into group number 2.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
It's true, man. It's facts.
I'm gonna show my screen right now. Display capture. On the screen right now is the Out of Orbit podcast channel. I did upload a video. It's about the prayer line that Joe did. All future podcasts will be there. I gotta set that up. We got 2 weeks. Don't worry. All the members here have access to the channel. They can upload their content there, etc. and etc. So be on the lookout. Get that shit up to subscribe. Get that shit up. I'll get the likes up and everything on that one. And of course, thank you guys for watching this channel. This was the Out of Orbit podcast. I do think Mr. St. Alex here is a permanent member. But we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So that would be, regarding Monday, that would be the 6th of May.
Yeah, so a little less than 2 weeks, but
Yeah,
that's because we like to do these on Mondays.
At
Yeah.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
I hate you
I think-
guys so much.
Wait, what was that thing you said that we saw the clip of? You said I can kill the dog and then fuck it. Hold on.
I
Is
never
what
said
you
that.
first?
Never said that. That was out of context. That was out of context.
Didn't you say I'm gooning for cum?
No. Okay. You guys have a great night. We'll see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you guys for watching. We love you very much. Have a good one.
God bless.
Good night.